We're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. And waiting for the Instagram to load.
Right.
Okay, you're live.
Okay. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ivy Machoka. I'm a comms intern for District 9, and today we are going to be discussing the budget for the fiscal year of 2027. We are here with Councilmember Sean Ela Rivera. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Ivy.
Okay, should we just go right into the questions? All right, perfect. All right, so first question I have for you today. What is the biggest thing every San Diegan should understand about the proposed budget?
Well, I think so. The mayor's revise comes out today, and I think the big story from today and the whole cycle, I think, is that the city um, needs more resources to be the city that it should be. So there are cuts that were in the proposed budget that were painful. There's cuts that remain in the revised budget that are painful, even though the revised budget is better than the proposed budget. At the end of the day, I think most San Diegans would agree that the resources that we have are not providing for everything that San Diego can and should be at this time.
Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is the proposed elimination of the Office of Child and Youth Success has gotten a lot of attention. What message does eliminating that office send to young people and families in San Diego?
Yeah, I think it sends the wrong message. I think it sends a message that we're deprioritizing young people, children, and families, and that's the last message we should ever be sending. It's really not the message we should be sending when there's so much that's being pulled back from the federal government, when there's so many folks who are feeling under pressure right now, and that office has so much potential to make lives better, make lives more affordable, to make the whole vision for that office is to make the young people growing up in San Diego feel like they are seen and loved by their city, and to pull the plug on that would essentially be telling them that we're pulling the plug on investing in having them be seen and having them be loved.
Thank you so much. My next question is which communities do you think will feel these cuts the hardest?
Well, whatever cuts are proposed in a budget, the people who are going to feel it the most are those who have the kind of least leeway in terms of absorbing those impacts. So it's going to be the communities that have seen the least investment or the most neglect over the years. It's going to be the individual families and people who depend on certain city services and may not have access to those anymore. There are significant improvements in how the city is approaching equity. That's undoubted. It is absolutely the case that we're doing better along those lines. But doing better is not the same as being, again, the best version of ourselves. And I don't think we've hit that standard yet. And so, as proposed, there would be significant impacts. That being said, the revise is a huge step forward from the proposed budget. Restoring the hours for parks, rec centers, and libraries in districts 4, 8, and 9. That's a big step forward in terms of equity. And again, when we talk about equity, we're really talking about making sure that we're acknowledging that things were not right in the past. And so we're trying to do better in the future. We're accounting for those wrongs and the decisions that we make today. And so that restoration of those park, rec center, and library hours, really important.
Yes, thank you so much. My next question is you've mentioned potentially using revenue from successful city golf courses such as Torrey Pines to help support parks and recreation. How would that work, and why do you think that option deserves more serious consideration?
Well, I was really excited to see that idea was actually incorporated into the revise. That is, that's how we pay for the restoration of those hours at the parks, at the rec centers, and the libraries. And the idea is pretty simple. We have a really successful, one of the best municipal golf courses in the country in Torrey Pines. San Diego is a world-class golf destination, and we want to make sure that is being to the benefit of all San Diegans. So right now, those golf courses pay rent to the city, which might sound a little bit funny, but because it's a separate fund, they pay rent to the city. And what we were doing is recalibrating that rent to bring it back to what it used to be. And by doing that, we're going to see significant increases in what the city receives back from golf. And we're going to do that without jeopardizing those golf courses, without jeopardizing the PGA Tour still wanting to come to San Diego. But again, we're gonna do this in a way where San Diegans across the city can benefit from these golf courses that are revered around the world.
Thank you so much. What role do arts and culture programs play in creating healthy communities?
Yeah, arts and culture plays a super important role in San Diego and any community being a community. It's what makes a city that's some boundaries on a map actually feel like a community. These are the places that we come together where we celebrate our culture, where we celebrate our history, where we have fun, and fun is so important. It's where we create safety through being together with people who are looking out for one another. We create safety by giving young folks an opportunity to do something positive. For young people to tap into a talent that they didn't know they had. You are an amazing singer. We've seen you sing the Black National Anthem, and you did such an amazing job with that. And that, I see it with you, Ivy, when you sing. I see it with Benny when he's playing the drums. Right, that piece of a person that comes alive when they've tapped into that part of themselves. I am a terrible artist. I can barely do a stick figure right, but I see this thing come alive in people, and that's amazing. And then I don't have to be good at it to appreciate it, right? And so when someone's showing that ability, when they're showing a part of themselves through art, through cultural practices, when they're doing that through music, it's one of the things that makes life worth living. And so it's really, really important. And some folks say it's a luxury. We know that it's the thing that protects people's mental health sometimes. It puts them on the road to recovery when they're going through a tough time. It keeps them off a bad path at other times. And so it's super important. That's why we're going to fight to restore some of the funding that's been lost.
Thank you so much for that answer. And after kind of seeing like the revise and all, what changes would you still, or if there are any changes that you'd like to see um, when the budget is finalized?
Yeah. So now the budget's in the council's hands. It's our job, right? So the mayor, he proposed it, he heard our feedback, he revised it, and now it's in the council's hand. It's our turn to do our work. So I think the things that really stand out to me are getting the Office of Child and Youth Success restored. That's super important to me. It's a low cost, high impact office. And again, the signal that we're sending to young people, the signal that we're sending to families, that we're looking out for them, that we're not forgetting about them, that we love them, we're investing in them. That's super important. I'm going to fight hard for that. And then that arts and culture funding, getting at least a part of that restored. And we've identified 2 ways that we think that we can do. We can get both of those things restored. The first is through ending the subsidy that right now the Padres are receiving for the events that they put on at Petco Park. The Padres just sold for $3.9 billion in a time that your eyes got real wide. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Yeah. In a time when we were asking families to sacrifice, when we're cutting back on the services that we're providing, I don't think we should be subsidizing billionaires. And so, we can pull that back. That's $2 million that we can redistribute to arts and cultural organizations. And then I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll continue to say it, investing in AI surveillance of our community, which the city currently does with something called Flock cameras and license plate readers. I don't think that is a thing that we need in order to be a safe city. San Diego was amongst, if not the safest big city in the country before we had those. We will continue to be a safe city if we are providing for people in the ways that they need to be provided for, if we're giving them positive opportunities. And so let's take some of that funding, let's pour it back into youth, let's pour back into families. And we don't need to watch people when they're doing good things and they're having a good time and they're taking care of one another. So those are the 2 things that come to mind first. And again, we're not going to be able to do everything that we want, or that I think San Diego should be able to do, because the city isn't properly resourced. And that's where the bigger fight is. It's about making the rich pay their fair share. It's about making sure that tourists contribute to the city in the way that they should. the way that they do in other cities, but aren't here necessarily. And so we'll keep pushing, we'll keep fighting. Let me ask you a question though.
Scared.
What are you like most passionate about over the next few weeks?
I think knowing that there's going to be funding for parks and rec centers is helpful, and I also think that it does make the city safer because I feel like having a place for students, especially like after school programs, things like that, for places for kids to kind of just like have like an outlet to do homework, play sports, do arts, and everything makes the city safer because I feel like if kids don't have that, they'll turn to like doing things that they know they shouldn't be doing, or just anything that they can get their hands on. And I am really excited to hearing about the proposal with taking money from different golf courses and things like that. Sorry, I'm
You're
so bad at
good.
speaking. But I thought that was like really, really cool, and I'm really excited to hear that. And I really hope that also with the arts and culture funding that also goes through because I'm very passionate about arts and culture. And as a singer myself, like it hurt kind of knowing that they were taking money away from that, knowing that this is a city that is full of so much life and culture and everything, and taking that away kind of just takes a piece of the city away, honestly, in my opinion. So hopefully with the budget revise, we can, kind of, tap into finding avenues to fund those areas. So
Yeah. Makes me want to fight for it even harder. When does the album drop?
Great question. Album dropping 2027.
Okay, great.
Hopefully.
Heard it here first. Ivy's album drops 2027 after the final budget.
Yes, that'll be immediately after.
Thank you, Ivy. And I
All
gotta get to class.
Thank you so much.